Okay, hi everyone, and welcome to the last tutorial. Okay, hi everyone, and welcome to this YouTube. So today's session, we're going to be able to publish our website online. So what we need to cover in today's session, we should be able to be checking on domain names, purchasing, hosting, uploading website using file transfer protocol software, verifying successful upload using web browser. So we're going to look into domain name, represent an internet protocol, IP address, internet protocol, resource and saves the user from entering the direct IP address. Consideration should include the bandwidth, location of hosting server, capability of storage with the package, speed of service, ultimate level cost, hosting company reputation, SSL certification, and learner should be able to upload a website from a local copy using a FTP login and FTP software and making the website accessible online. So when it comes to launching a website on the internet, there are different ways. So there are softwares which allows us to do so. So for example, there are software such as GoDaddy, where you can purchase your domain name. And once you purchase your domain name, you can now finally host in your website in a remote web server. And then everyone can simply log click on your website and log into it. So there are different other ways where we can launch websites. So another way could be through a FTP, so which is simply a file transfer protocol, which refers to the process that involves the transfer of files between devices over a network. So this process works when one party allows another to send or receive files over the internet. So FTP is not really recommended because as we all know, in the past, there's been a situation where hackers, these bad guys, these bad entities, can now break into networks. And once your file has been transferred from one location to another remote location, hackers can now break into the network and accessing your files. So it's not really a secure system. So for example, you're doing an online transaction. Nowadays, hackers can simply break into your FTP and steal information, even steal your money. So due to security reasons, is most recommended to use hosting web server hosting companies such as GoDaddy, which everything is more controlled. So let's look into this video which will give us a more understanding of hosting a website.
This is how it feels to build websites with Duda. The
website, the complete beginner's guide. Hosting a website means making it accessible on the World Wide Web. You can host it on your own server or with a web hosting service provider. Using a hosting provider. Working with a service provider is the most comfortable and convenient method of web hosting. It is cheaper, comes with support, and often more reliable. The disadvantage of using a hosting provider includes the risk of service restrictions. There are also likely to be fewer choices and hosting locations available. To get started, first decide what type of website you are building. Next, compare web hosting types to see which is most suitable for your needs. There are three main types of web host categories: shared, VPS or cloud, and dedicated server. The cheapest and easiest to manage is shared hosting. Virtual private server and dedicated server hosting plans are a better choice for websites expected to serve more visitors. Once you've chosen a plan and signed up for it, you will need to purchase a domain name. A domain name is an address that visitors will use to access your website. With those two things in place, you can then move your website files onto your hosting server. Using your own server. Hosting a website on your own server means you can choose any location for it to be placed. Since you own the entire server, there aren't likely to be any restrictions in place. However, technical requirements, as well as cost involved, does increase. There are a few extra steps involved before you can move your files onto your server. Instead of looking for a hosting plan, you will need to select and configure your own equipment. You will also have to install, set up the appropriate software, and ensure enough bandwidth for smooth access to your website. Only when this is ready can you begin to deploy your site. So, which is the best option? Hosting a website on your own server does have notable benefits. This comes at the expense of higher cost and increased technical complexity. Choosing to work with a reputable hosting provider is faster, more cost-effective, and simpler. For more details and step-by-step guidance, please read our tutorial. Thank you for watching. How to host a website.
Okay, so you just the video just gave us a quick introduction of type of way to host our website. So let me just open a couple of them. So okay. As we saw from the video, there are different ways that we can choose for hosting our website. So web publishing is simply the process of publishing original content on the internet. So the process includes building and uploading website, updating associated web page, and posting content to this web page online. So a publisher requires three things. For us, in order to publish our web pages, we need to obviously website development software. So we need to build our software, our application from scratch. internet connection, so a good bandwidth connectivity, and then we need a remote web server which will host our website. So nowadays, I would say that most of these websites are hosted on a cloud-based web server. So examples of cloud-based web servers are Cloudflare. So this Cloudflare company is an American company that connect delivery network on the DOS mitigation company. So with Cloudflare, we can now have a domain name. We can now host our domain name in this cloud-based web server. And also we have Heroku, which is a cloud application platform, where it has the same functionality, where we do have a database where we can store all the information of our page into the database of Heroku. And then we have also more commercial and well-known options such as GoDaddy, which I'm pretty sure everyone has heard about GoDaddy. So with GoDaddy, we are able to obtain domain names. So you provide the domain name. Say, for example, you have your online store. You are trying to set up an e-commerce website. You have an online store, basically, and then you come up with the name. Say you're trying to produce solar panels, and you're searching for a domain name. So we can say, so let's think about a name for our company. Could be Solar Future. So I want to call my e-commerce website to sell solar panel, Solar Future. I'll search for domain. So GoDaddy will check let's see, Solar Future, search for domain. Don't really know domain names. Search for domain name. ATHE starts with this. Find your best domain. Solar Future. Okay, so maybe I think I have to sign in to have more functionality. So I'm not going to sign in, but as we all know, the first step, once we've built our website, we need to find the domain name. Once we have the domain name for our website, we then have to pay an annual fee. So here they're advertising stuff like .co.uk, which is the most used domain name in England. So to purchase a .co.uk domain name, prices are starting to £1, almost £2 per year to host our website. So for sure, as far as I know, GoDaddy is the most used. I think it's cloud-based web server. I'm not sure if it's a cloud-based. GoDaddy is GoDaddy is the first website web builder. Yeah, there's not free domain. Domain register. Okay, so if you have to register your website, you definitely use GoDaddy, which is a simple option. And then here there is Filezilla. So with Filezilla, we can use a free FTP solution. So Filezilla is simply a software. So the steps you have to do is download for client. And then there's the option of download Filezilla for server. So we're just going to download the client option. So this is what are the functionality of a standard Filezilla, where it says these are all the functionality we can have by using it. So we just simply download it. I've never downloaded on this machine. I used to have Filezilla, but not on this computer. So if we're looking back into how this is structured, so this image simply says this image is just simply a graphic where explains what are the file transfer protocol process, how they work. So as we mentioned before, we got that we can obtain domains. So let's understand the purpose of a domain. So domain names are host name that the domain name system DNS used to identify and map to website and other internet protocol resources. So this goes really in a depth of understanding network and network security. So we all know what is an internet protocol. So by internet protocol is simply the address of our network. So once we have a location of our network, we then have a domain name, a DNS, which will be used to identify our website. So for us to increase the chances, the marketing, increase the marketing side of our website, we have to look into SEO. So by SEO is simply searching engine optimizer. Yeah, searching engine optimization. So once we launched our website, for us to have a website that can show up really frequently on the website, we really need an effective SEO, searching engine optimization, where people, by typing any type of business, they might come up. Our website might have more chances to show up due to the fact that we have a really searching engine optimization. So domain names are also used for other purpose. So other purpose for it is a simple identification of host name and host. So host name appears as element in uniform resource locator, so on our URL. And for internet resources such as website, for example, once we type a URL, is a third level domain, and .com is the top level domain. So let me simply show how this works. Just 1 second.
The recording has stopped.
I apologize. There was some noise in the background, so I just made sure they stopped.
This meeting is being recorded.
So let's look into levels of domain. So this image quite explains. So on the right-hand side, we have .com, which is top level of domain. Top level is what we pay for. So we had an example of GoDaddy, which showed that .co.uk has a price, while .com could be cheaper than .co.uk. And then there are different type of domain names. .ac.uk are used for institutions. And then there's many other type of top level domains. And then we have second level domain, which is simply the name that we're going to use for our business or for our organization. For example, ukversity.co.uk or coursesforyou.co.uk or coursesforyou.com. So depending on the nature of your business and how and where you're going to host your website, you might have a different top level domain. So this is why DNS domain name system are important to understand. And also we have simple, easy, memorable name. So domain names are useful because they are memorable. For example, books.com is easier to remember the internet protocol. So you always know IP address is simply where is just simply the location where we store where our web page is stored. Also, we have to look into pricing and renewal. So from GoDaddy, I gave an example of pricing, and every year it might stay the same or it might increase depending on environmental aspects. Also, we need to check into bandwidth. So we need to check on the speed of how these files are being transferred from one location into the other. So depending on our host provider, the host provider in the website should show what bandwidth and what frequency all this information are going to be shared, and also is going to give information of a storage. So depending on the nature of your website, on how much storage we have on our database, we then need to look into how much storage we need to purchase, and each web host provider will always advertise the prices that they do have for the storage. And also we need to look into security protocols. So we have to make sure that these web hosting providers are not hackable. They really follow a really secure system layers. And on the your web hosting provider should provide security features. For example, like security monitoring, DDoS protections, and many others. So as we come to understand how to set up and configure a web hosting solution, there are mainly a couple of steps we have to take in consideration. So I gave example of four of them. So Heroku, GoDaddy, Cloudflare, and what was the other one? Oh yeah, Mozilla Firefox, but that is mainly a software, so it's not really an online web hosting provider. So first step we have to do is compare them. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you can hear me. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry,
I
felt like I was just talking. Okay. So the first step we have to compare these web providers based on prices, based on the security system, based on storage, VPS, dedicated server hosting. So first step, we compare them and find the most suitable one for our own website and, for example, for our budget. Choose and purchase our web hosting plan. So they'll offer you a plan. They might even integrate discounts. So these are all elements that we have to take consideration. Then after that, we purchase our domain, and then we create our website to servers. So once we create it, we just launch it and we just simply maintain them. So coming to uploading through a file transfer protocol, which is a completely different process. On this slides, I just give a couple of examples of how this has to be done. So first of all, there is a documentation which explains the step of hosting on Filezilla, but I would not really recommend it due to security issues. So the file is not working. So let's just carry on from here. So it's pretty much the same. So we do have to find the server address. So we have to find our domain name. Then we have to create our login. So we're going to have a username, domain name, and then obviously we have to create a website, a password for our account. The most tricky part to understand is how to transfer our files into the system. So let me just open in folders. Remove protection. Oh no. Windows cannot access Filezilla. Check the. I've been having problem with this laptop. Only for me. Filezilla client. just need to do a bit of troubleshooting and understand why. Yeah, so at the moment I need to figure it out what is wrong with this. Oh yeah, 1 second. Yeah, run as administrator. Yeah, so I have to abort this mission. For some reason, I'm not able to install on this computer. So once I get it done, I'll fix it. So what I was trying to explain is that once we have created our web pages, we then need to understand how to upload them onto our server, our file transfer protocol server. And once we uploaded it there, then we can look into publishing it. So this the steps to follow is just connect to your subscription of the server with the file transfer protocol client program, which is Filezilla in this case, but there are many others. So let's, for example, check FTP software. Filezilla or other software. So there is CyberDoc. Okay, so we could try with CyberDoc. I think this is pretty much famous. Yeah, I worked with this before. So we could download this, but I'm not gonna do it now. I have to take my time and do all the installation. So as we said, these are the protocols to do. Then we have to connect them to our cloud base, for example, Heroku. We first upload our file into our file transfer protocol, and once it's connected there, we can now host it on our web hosting provider. So we have to enable the passive mode if you are behind the firewall. So this is a major risk. So once we disable our firewall, we could face many problems where our file could be compromised and easily detectable by hackers. Then we upload the file, and then we upload the files and the directories of the site to the HTTP doc directory, and then we close our file transfer protocol session. This is everything. Is there any question for me?
No question at all.
Okay, thank you very much, guys, for joining today. So I hope I'll see you on Saturday for our assignment.